This is Local 3 News at 4. Saudi Daisy business owners and residents will see a major jump in property taxes.
Rock City is rebranding, and it's for a good cause. The gnomes are in the spotlight.
And Hamilton County Mayor Weston Wamp will join us at 4:30 to talk about senior property taxes and the fair. Thank you for watching on this Monday. I'm David Carroll.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. A Hamilton County school safety officer faces charges for domestic assault and impersonating an officer. Court documents show police responded to Brittany King's home, where she is said to have been fighting with a person she knew. They say King told them she was a police officer and a school resource officer. But at the jail, the arresting officer discovered King is not a police officer. Hamilton County Schools confirms she is a school safety officer at Lookout Mountain Elementary. King is out of jail this afternoon. Now, let's explain this. There are stark differences between a school security officer and a school resource officer. A school resource officer is a bona fide police officer who works in a local police department. A school security officer is a certified, licensed, and trained security guard who does not have special privileges as a police officer.
A Dade County case from 2021 has been dismissed after the state said they have insufficient evidence to prove the allegations of cruelty to seniors. The owner of the Dade County nursing home Woodhaven was arrested 3 years ago. The center only had one employee. There was no air conditioning. Temperatures were above 100. After an additional investigation, the state ruled to dismiss the arrest warrant for Kent Womack. Also, a Hamilton County grand jury has charged a man in connection with a deadly shooting on Maryland Street in 2023. Caleb Askins is charged with 6 counts. Chattanooga police say they found a shooting victim on the porch of the home on August 29th of 23. The man, whose name was not released, later died at a hospital. Askins was one of 4 suspects arrested. He's in the Hamilton County Jail and has a court date of September 2nd. One person is in custody after East Ridge police say the person fired a gun outside a restaurant last night. This happened in the parking lot of the Ridgewood Village Shopping Center. East Ridge police say an argument apparently led to the shooting. There were no injuries. Police have not released the name of the person arrested or the charges that person will face. We will have updates on that story as we get them.
A man was killed in a shooting in a motel parking lot on Lee Highway. Police say Guster Harfield admitted to shooting a 43-year-old man. Guests at the motel say they didn't see the shooting Friday night, but knew what was happening the moment gunshots rang out across the parking lot.
I'm sitting under the tree with some friends just chilling. We heard some fire, some gunshots, and like 3 minutes later, the police was there and stuff. I was shocked. I was really shocked.
Harfield is in the Hamilton County Jail facing a first-degree murder charge. He'll be in court August 19th.
A man in Rome, Georgia is facing federal charges after reportedly threatening to assassinate President Trump during a TikTok live stream. Investigators say Juwan Porter commented on a TikTok thread about Trump. Investigators say he planned to kill Trump. Police searched Porter's home and found 2 pipes, also ammunition and an explosive. He has prior convictions for terroristic threats, domestic violence, and other charges. It's Monday, brand new week, brings a brand new forecast from Hannah Sky.
And Hannah, boy, it was really pretty pleasant out there today. I was expecting much more heat and humidity.
The lower humidity levels certainly have made a nice difference, hasn't it, outside? So those lower temperatures have been in the mid to upper 80s, and that's what we're going to continue to expect over the next couple of days. So it is going to be a warm and cloudy evening tonight, but I'm keeping an eye on the possibility for some heavy rainfall and the possibility of flash flooding tomorrow. So be sure to stay weather aware. Now, of course, we're going to talk more about this during the full weather forecast, but just kind of wanted to give you an update. And of course, now tracking Tropical Storm Erin, which will likely be the first hurricane in the Atlantic of the 2025 season and could be our first major hurricane at that. So be sure to stay tuned for details. Here is a look at your current radar right now. We do have some showers and thunderstorms which are slowly pushing from the east over to the west. You can see most of those over there by Fannin, Gilmer, and Murray County in North Georgia. The rest of the area staying mostly dry, but still very cloudy. Temperatures right now sitting at 84 degrees. So you can see it is on the cooler side. up there in the mid to upper 80s. Now with the humidity, which is a lot lower than what it has been, it's still making it feel like 90 degrees, 95 in Scottsboro, but at least we are not seeing those triple-digit heat index levels. Now here is a look at over by the Goose Pond in Scottsboro, Alabama. Got those pretty heavy clouds. Haven't seen a lot of sunshine, and then I'll take you step by step during the full weather forecast for what you can expect over the next couple of hours. So be sure to stay tuned. Back to David.
All right, thank you, Hannah. Soddy Daisy residents may be paying more property taxes next year. City officials are proposing to increase the property tax by about 21%. Commissioner Steve Everett says the cost to you may not be as drastic as it sounds.
On a $300,000 home, this should cost that person $150 a year. So when you look at it from that perspective, that's a little over, $10, $12 a month.
But some residents, like David Smith, a business owner in Soddy Daisy, are concerned about the proposed tax rate. He wishes the increase was more gradual over the years. Now, Arlen Giles, who's lived in Soddy Daisy for about 30 years, says he doesn't really mind it. He says he's enjoyed living in Soddy Daisy, and to him, it's worth the money. Commissioner Everett says the revenue from these taxes will go towards infrastructure, emergency agencies, and other city projects. He says that commission meetings are open to the public. The final vote on the new tax rate is set for August 21st, 6 p.m. at Soddy Daisy City Hall.
Still to come here on Local 3 News at 4.
He would definitely be the one you would call on if you needed help.
The mother of the officer killed in the CDC shooting says she tried to stop him from joining the force, but is proud of his service.
Plus, President Trump has taken over the Washington, D.C. police force. Find out more. This is Local 3 News. For some reason, I have that song Yellow Submarine in my head, skies of blue, sea of green. We have a sea of green on our grid right now, and I can't find really much of anything to complain about, and that's not like me. Let's just say things are looking good on Chattanooga's interstate highways this afternoon. Keep your fingers crossed, and maybe it'll last for a while.
Investigators have a better picture of the man who opened fire outside the CDC in Atlanta Friday, killing a police officer. Investigators believe Patrick Joseph White shot himself with his own shotgun Friday inside a CVS store near the entrance of the CDC. A neighbor says the suspected shooter, identified as Patrick Joseph White, had expressed anti-vaccine sentiments to her, and White believed the COVID vaccine made him sick. Officials say the shooter blamed the COVID vaccine for making him depressed and suicidal. They say the shooter tried to get into the CDC's headquarters but was stopped by guards before driving to the pharmacy and opening fire. Police served a warrant on White's home after the shooting and found medication for schizophrenia during the search. Police officer David Rose was killed while responding to the shooting and leaves behind a pregnant wife and 2 children. Debbie Ann Atkinson had her concerns when her son wanted to be a police officer. Rose was taken to the same hospital his mother worked at as an ER nurse for 17 years. Atkinson believes it's because her son spent so much time in that area, it was easy for him to rush there.
The doctors at Emory would have Christmas parties at their house. The same doctor that was working on him, he's been to his house for a Christmas party, even though he was new to the department there, and he heard that he would know how to get there quickly. He knows the area, and if you would ask him he would do it again, he would do it again.
She said Rose was a role model to his younger brother, and he was a husband and about to be a father of 3.
Is there any chance of peace soon between Russia and Ukraine? President Trump is preparing to meet with Russian President Putin over their war. We'll have details next. This is Local 3 News at 4.
President Trump federalizing the Washington, D.C. Police Department in a move he says he's making to fight crime and make the nation's capital a safer city. But the Metro Police Department and the Justice Department say violent crime in that city fell to a 30-year low.
Now, Trump says he's also trying to end the war in Ukraine, as Monica Alba reports.
You remember I said, I offered 10,000 once. Remember?
President Trump declaring a public safety emergency in the nation's capital. Today announcing he's sending National Guard troops to the streets of Washington, D.C., claiming crime is out of control.
This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back.
He also federalized the Metropolitan Police Department temporarily after a former DOJ employee was attacked, according to a police report. The president said he would notify Congress about the decision, but gave no specifics for how long he would overtake the police department, though he would need joint approval from Congress if it lasts more than 30 days.
You'll be so happy because you'll be safe. When you walk down the street, you're going to see police or you're going to see FBI agents.
But statistics from the Metro Police Department and the Justice Department contradict the president. An MPD report shows violent crime is down 26% from last year. Homicides are down 12%. Critics point out that the president didn't immediately call in the National Guard when rioters attacked the Capitol on January 6, 2021.
Who city?
Our city. Outside the White House, D.C. residents made their disapproval known loud and clear. The president saying he may implement the D.C. plan in other cities. The mayor of Baltimore firing back, calling today's announcement a distraction and writing Trump should be focused on, quote, the roller coaster of the economy thanks to the president's policies. As the president seeks to fight crime in Washington, the White House is also preparing for his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin Friday, standing firm that Ukraine and Russia may need to swap territory to come to a peace agreement.
Russia's occupied a big portion of Ukraine. They've occupied some very prime territory. We're going to try and get some of that territory back for Ukraine.
Though Ukrainian President Zelensky insists he will not cede his country's land.
Monica Alba with that report. Visitors to the White House will no longer see the official portraits of Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and George H.W. Bush. Those portraits were recently moved by the Trump administration from the entryway to a far less visible location at the top of a staircase that is rarely seen or accessed by the public. The relocation of the portraits breaks with tradition that gives recent presidents prominent placement for their portraits. It's normal for a president to redecorate the White House, but this is the first time that a president has removed portraits of recent presidents from the public view. President Trump has not given a reason for moving those portraits.
Lawyers for President Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom are set to face off in a San Francisco courtroom. At issue, whether the president violated a 147-year-old law when he deployed the National Guard in June. Trump sent thousands of National Guardsmen and hundreds of Marines to California to protect against protests over immigration raids in Los Angeles. The governor filed a lawsuit against Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. It accuses the two of violating the 10th Amendment and the Posse Comitatus Act, which prevents the use of the military for enforcing laws. Trump's lawyers say the act does not provide a mechanism for a civil lawsuit.
Well, you've heard our forecasters say over the past couple days there could be some pop-up showers here and there, and our friends in Ella J are saying, yep, here they are.
Ooh, yeah, they're getting it there. And let's find out more from Hannah Sky what else we can expect. Hannah.
Thanks, Cindy and DC. You can see it on the radar while the majority of the viewing area is staying nice and dry. Yeah, LJ and Blue Ridge and then some areas over there in Murray County heading up towards Dalton are getting rained on pretty heavily this afternoon. Of course, your current time is 4:17. The rest of the area is staying really cloudy. A few little scattered showers and thunderstorms, or little scattered showers like those specks of green, but overall, those feel pretty nice if you were outside doing any type of outdoor activity. But yes, we're keeping an eye on this little area of pop-up thunderstorms that are rolling through. Fortunately, nothing severe, not even seeing a whole lot of lightning with those storms, just some heavier rainfall rates. Now, what I want to draw your attention to is heading into the next couple of days, we could see some very heavy rainfall. This is not over the next 5 or 7 days, this is over the next 2 days. You could see anywhere between 1/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and then some areas bump all the way up to 3 inches of rainfall. So likely going to see some scattered, isolated areas of very heavy rainfall and an increased risk for flash flooding. Why is this happening? Well, we have an area that's a tropical development or a little tropical plume. No, this isn't going to turn into anything. It actually has a 0% chance of tropical development because it's going to work its way up towards land. but it's going to bring a lot of very moist air and a tropical environment that is very conducive to those pop-up showers, which dump a lot of heavy rainfall in a very stationary fashion. We also have a stationary front which is set up to the west of us, and that is going to just cause that rainfall to be very slow moving in those areas and dump a lot of that heavy rainfall. So let's take a look at the futurecast. The rest of the evening tonight, not expecting a whole lot. I think those rain showers are slowly going to begin to wash out as we lose that daytime heating, and then tomorrow morning a few pop-up showers will be possible, but then here comes the rain heading into your Tuesday afternoon. So around 3 p.m. could start to see some really heavy rainfall, especially over to the east, but again, it just depends where this kind of sets up. And then additionally seeing the possibility for some more rain across the area. That's going to be heading into your Tuesday. Wednesday, going to see a similar setup with another possibility of seeing some heavy rainfall rates across the area heading into your Wednesday morning and your Wednesday afternoon. Now let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to switch gears. So this is the excessive rainfall rates today. That's a marginal 1 out of 5 risk. So again, kind of more towards the eastern areas. We haven't really seen anything crazy as of yet, and I'm doubting we are going to. Now that marginal area in the green, that's a level 1 out of 5 risk, and this is talking specifically about the potential risk for flooding. Tomorrow you see that risk expands heading into the western areas, and then into your Wednesday, it just expands into a huge swath of the area once it goes ahead and switches over for me. There we go. Heading into Wednesday, you can see several states are included in this area. Also wanted to show you the next 5 days, seeing similar rainfall rates with that really heavy rain. Now let's go ahead and talk tropics just for a quick second here. We have Tropical Storm Erin, which has formed in the Atlantic. It's going to slowly work its way across the Atlantic towards the United States. And you can see these are the spaghetti models, but the spaghetti models right now have it starting to shift and then kind of work its way up into the Atlantic. It's really soon to tell, but so far not looking at direct impacts to the United States. But this very well could be our first major hurricane of the Atlantic season, because heading into your Thursday and then Friday and Saturday could even be a Category 3 hurricane. So something to watch very, very closely, especially depending how close this goes. It just depends on the upper level steering. So we will be keeping a very close eye on Tropical Storm Erin, what most likely will become Hurricane Erin over the next couple of days. So be sure to stay tuned for updates. We will be giving those out. But now here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Rain for the next couple of days. Just stay weather aware. Back to you.
Hannah, thank you. Coming up next on Local 3 News at 4, gnomes are getting extra attention at Rock City, and it's nothing to really be concerned about.
Well, this is fun. Some changes are coming to Rock City.
Logan 3's Logan Dubel meets the mystical characters at the forefront of Rock City's new look.
The gnomes are ready to meet you here at Rock City. Meet Nimble, Bergman, Edvard, and Leaf. Gnomes have always been a big part of Rock City's image, but now they are coming to the forefront of the destination's new branding. A new statuary for a view with stature.
The typography is inspired by the ironwork that you see on our gates and old benches and historic signage, and the stars represent the whimsy and the wonder that exists in Rock City.
Whimsy that sometimes led to mystery about this nearly century-old destination where the founder said you can see 7 states.
They'll come here and they're like, wow, I had no idea. So the branding historically from the very beginning was sort of a mystery. Like it was a barn painted with 3 words, See Rock City. What is that?
Now it's a place with 4 new gnome characters. The founders had an intrigue for German folklore and imported gnomes, some dating back to 1874. With some in need of restoration in the gnome folks' home, what better time for a rebrand?
We did the original sculpts of our statues of our characters in clay in the traditional way, but instead of then taking those into a kiln and firing them, we did 3D scans, and now we've produced those with modern technology using 3D printers.
The team says to think of the gnomes like Toy Story characters. Still when you're watching, but stewards of the magic when you aren't.
By trying to look for the gnomes, you're starting to look at the world differently and see all of the detail and the wonder that's there. And so this is a way to sort of get people to stop and pause and maybe be off the phone and see the world around you and how amazing it is.
From Rock City, Logan Dubel, Local 3 News.
Thank you, Logan.